Hi everyone, it's Gillian and welcome to my channel and another crochet tutorial. For today's tutorial, we are going to be working on the join as you go method. If you're interested in making these daisy granny squares, I will put a link to the pattern in the description. I will also put it at the top right hand corner of this video and again at the end of the video. So let's get started. To begin, I'm just going to go ahead and move the rest of these squares out of the way. And we're going to start with our first square, and I'm going to begin by making my regular granny pattern, starting in the right hand corner across the top and down to this edge. So we're going to be working the first two sides in this direction, and this is where I'm going to add the next granny squares. So to begin here, I'm going to use a standing double crochet, and you can use a slip stitch and a chain 3 if that works better for you. For the standing double crochet, you're going to put a slip knot on your hook, and I like to hold the tail end just a bit like that so that it doesn't move around on me. And I'm going to wrap my hook and go into the stitch. I'm going to pull up a loop, and that gives you 3 loops on your hook. Just like your double crochet stitch, you're going to pull through 2 loops and then wrap your hook and pull through the remaining 2. Working into that same space, I'm going to make 2 more double crochets. Chain 1, and I'm going to make my regular 3 double crochet cluster into the next chain 1 space. Chain 1. And for your granny squares, if you're used to not chaining, you can make your granny squares however you're used to making them. It doesn't matter. It doesn't change the join method. So into the next chain 1, you're going to make 3 double crochets, and you're going to repeat this until you get to the corner. Chain 1 and repeat. Chain 1, repeat into the next chain 1, and you're going to chain 1, and into your corner you're going to make your regular corner here of 3 double crochets, chain 2 and 3 double crochets. And if you're used to chaining 3 for your granny squares, you can chain 3, it doesn't matter. Make 3 more double crochets into that space. You're going to chain 1, and you're going to continue with your granny square pattern as you did here until you get to the next corner. So you're going to make a cluster of 3 double crochets into the next chain 1, chain 1, and just repeat that pattern until you get to the corner. Chain 1, into the corner you're going to make 3 double crochets. You're not going to complete this corner stitch. You're now going to get ready to add your second square. And I'm going to chain 2, and if you're used to chaining 3, you can go ahead and chain 3. And I'm going to turn my work in this direction, and I'm going to bring in my second square. I'm going to add my second square starting in the corner. Any corner works fine. Here. And I'm going to make 3 double crochets into that corner. I'm going to remove my hook from the loop, and I'm going to go in to the chain 1 space on the right. I'm going to put that loop back onto the hook, and I'm going to pull it through. And into the chain 1 space on the left, I'm going to make 3 double crochets. I'm going to remove my hook from the loop, and I'm going to go in to the next chain 1 space on the right, and I'm going to place that loop back onto my hook, and I'm going to pull it through. I'm going to make 3 double crochets into the chain 1 space on the left. And I'm going to repeat this until I get to the next corner. So insert your hook into the chain 1 space on the right, pull that loop through, and on the left chain 1 space you're going to make 3 double crochets. I just want to mention that if you want to work your pattern in this way, where you leave the loop onto the hook and then you go into the stitch and you pull through, whichever method that you choose, you want to keep on doing that throughout the whole pattern. You don't want to switch it up. For me, this is the way I do it. So you're gonna remove your hook from the loop into the chain 1 space on the right, and you're going to pull that loop through. So you just want to keep consistency in whatever method you choose. And working into the chain 1 space on the left, you're going to make 3 double crochets. And repeat. We're now going to be working into the chain 2 space on the left, and you're going to make 3 double crochets. Chain 1, remove the hook from the loop and go into the chain 2 space on the right, and you're going to pull that through, and you're going to make a chain 1. And into that same chain 2 space, you're going to complete that corner stitch by making 3 more double crochets into that space. So that is what we have so far, and that looks really pretty and really neat. We're now going to continue by working the 2 sides of the squares here, this side and down, and here we're going to add our 3rd square the same way we did here. We're going to work our regular granny pattern. So you're going to chain 1, and into the chain 1 space you're going to make your cluster of 3 double crochets. Chain 1 and repeat. Chain 1, and in that corner you're going to make a regular corner of 3 double crochets, chain 2 or 3 if you like to chain 3, and then 3 more. So here I will chain 2 and then make 3 more double crochets. I just split the yarn there. Chain 1 and continue making your granny square pattern to the next corner. chain 1, and into that corner you're going to make 3 double crochets. You're not going to complete this corner, just like you did previously. And we're going to get ready to add that next square. You're going to chain 2, and we're going to bring in the next square, and we're going to join this one together, one more together. Okay, so working into the corner just like you did before, you're going to make 3 double crochets. You're going to remove the hook from the loop and into the square on the right. You're going to insert into the first chain 1 space like that, and you're going to pull that loop through, and you're going to go into the chain 1 on the left, and you're going to make 3 double crochets. And this is just a repeat of what you did when you joined that second square. Okay, remove the loop into the chain 1 space here, pull it through, and into the chain 1 on the left, make 3 double crochets. And you're going to repeat this until you get to the corner. And repeat. Repeat. So now we're working into the corner, into the chain 2 space. You're going to make 3 double crochets. Chain 1, remove the hook from the loop and go into the chain 2 on the left, pull that through, and you're going to chain 1. And you're going to complete the corner stitch on the left side by making 3 more double crochets into that chain 2 space. You're going to chain 1, and you're going to continue your granny pattern just like you did with the 2 previous squares. Here down and here down. You're going to repeat that pattern here all the way to the next corner where you will be getting ready to add your next square. In the corner, you're going to make your 3 double crochets. And you're going to chain 2. And you're going to keep adding squares this way. So you're going to add your first row of squares, and you're just going to keep on repeating the pattern here until you're satisfied with the number of squares you have in your first row. So now what I'm going to do, I'm going to show you how to finish off this bottom edge, and that's going to prepare you for adding your second row of squares. And that's the same thing you will do for your third row of squares, the fourth, fifth, sixth, so on and so forth. Okay, so let's move these out of the way, and we're going to work on the bottom edge. I'm going to turn this around a bit. So now what we're going to do, we're going to complete this corner here. So I already made 3 double crochets and a chain 2 or chain 3 if that's what you like. And then into that space, I'm going to make 3 more double crochets to complete it. I'm going to chain 1. I'm going to be working into the chain 1 spaces until I get to the corner, and I'm going to make my regular granny cluster of 3 double crochets into each chain 1 space with a chain 1 in between. If you don't like to do a chain 1, that's okay. Chain 1 and into the next. Chain 1. So now we're at the corner stitch. As you can see, this is the corner right here, and in this corner there's already 3 double crochets. So we're gonna complete that corner by putting 3 more double crochets there. So into the chain 2 here, make 3 double crochets. You're gonna chain 1. And you're going to work into this chain 2 space, and if you made a chain 3, then this will be the chain 3. So you're going to work into that space and you're going to make a slip stitch. Chain 1. And you're now going to go over to the next corner. In this corner, there's already 3 double crochets. You're going to complete it by making 3 more double crochets. And you're going to keep on working until you get to the next corner. Chain 1 and make your cluster of 3 double crochets into the chain 1. Chain 1, and now you're at the next corner, and just like you did before, there's 3 double crochets already in that corner, and you're going to complete it by making 3 more double crochets. Chain 1, and working into the chain 2 or chain 3, you're going to make a slip stitch. Chain 1 and complete the next corner just as you did previously. And you're going to chain 1. And you're going to keep on working that edge of this first set of squares until you've completed all your squares. And then the next thing we're going to do is that we're going to add a second row of squares, and I'll meet you back here. Chain 1, and into the corner you're going to make 3 double crochets, and you're not going to complete this corner. You're going to get ready to add your second row of squares. You're going to chain 2, and I'm going to turn the work. So now you're going to add the second row of squares. You're going to get ready to add the second row of squares like that. So I'm going to move these 2 out of the way. So you're going to start in the corner, any corner works fine, and you're going to make 3 double crochets. I'm going to remove my hook from the loop. I'm going to turn my work a bit so you can see what I'm doing better. And you're going to go into the first chain 1, and this is familiar, this is what we've been doing, and into the square on the left, make 3 double crochets into the chain 1. And this pattern is going to be the same until you get to the corner stitch. So remove that hook from the loop and repeat. And repeat. And repeat. With the square on the left, you're going to be working into the chain 2 space, and you're going to make 3 double crochets. Chain 1. I'm going to turn my work a bit. So you're going to be joining this bottom square into the chain 2, into the corner space. So you have the square that's directly on top of you, and then you have the square that's off to your left. You're going to be joining into the corner space of the square on the left. So this is the square on the right, and this is the corner space for the square of the left. And then you have a space here, and this is the corner space of the square on the left. You're going to be joining into this space. So you're going to insert your hook into that space, and you're going to pull it through. You're going to pull that loop through, and you're going to chain 1, and into that chain 2 space you're going to complete your corner by making 3 double crochets. You're going to chain 1, and you're going to continue making your regular granny until you get to the corner where we're going to add the next square. Chain 1 and into the corner, make 3 double crochets. You're not going to complete this corner. Chain 2, and you're going to bring in the next square. You're going to make 3 double crochet into the corner. You remove that hook from the loop, and you're going to go into the chain 1 and pull that through, and you're going to work this the same way like you did until you get to the corner. And you can jump ahead if you choose to. Now we're going to be working into the corner space. Make 3 double crochets, and you're going to chain 1, and you're now going to be joining this square with the square on the right side here, on the upper right side. So you're now going to be working into the corner space here of that square, directly on top of the first square of the second row. So find that corner space, which is right here. You're going to insert your hook, and you're going to put that loop on the hook, and you're going to pull it through, and you're going to chain 1, and you're going to complete your corner by making 3 double crochets into that space. You're going to remove the hook from the loop, and you're going to continue by going into the chain 1 space here and pulling that loop through and making 3 double crochets into the next chain 1 space. And this is how you're going to continue adding your squares for row 2, 3, 4, and so on. And there's going to be a timestamp on the video, so you can go back and review what I did here. So I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to continue joining these squares, and when we get back, we're going to work the bottom edge here, and then we're going to work the sides. Chain 1, and working into the corner, you're going to make 3 double crochets, and you're going to chain 2. So now imagine that you have added all your squares, all the rows of your squares, and you're just going to have this unfinished bottom part left, and then you're going to have to finish off the sides. So that's what we're going to do now. So I'm going to flip this work around, and working into the corner here, we already have 3 double crochets and a chain 2, and we're going to place 3 more double crochets to complete the corner stitch. And the bottom part of this is actually worked the same way that you made the bottom for the first row of squares across here, and this will be very familiar to you. So first you're going to chain 1, and then you're going to work your granny cluster into the chain 1 spaces of 3 double crochets, and you're going to work that way until you get to the corner. You're going to chain 1 and repeat. Chain 1 and repeat into the next chain 1. Chain 1 and repeat into the next chain 1. You're going to chain 1. So here you have the corner stitch, and in that corner stitch here you already have 3 double crochets. So you're now going to put 3 more double crochets into that space. Chain 1, and you're going to slip stitch into the chain 2. And remember, if you did a chain 3, that would be a chain 3 instead of a chain 2. You're now going to chain 1, and then you're going to work the next corner stitch. Here, where they have the 3 double crochets, you're going to add 3 more into that space. You're going to chain 1, and then you're going to continue working your granny square pattern all the way until you get to the next corner, and then you're going to repeat what we did here. So go ahead and do that, and when we come back we're going to work the sides. Chain 1, and I'm going to turn my work so that I'm going to be working up the sides. Into this corner stitch you're going to make a regular corner of 3 double crochets. 3 double crochets, chain 2, and 3 double crochets. Chain 1, and you're going to work your regular double crochet cluster in each one of the chain 1 space until you get to the corner. You're going to chain 1, and this corner, this side, is made the same way that you did the bottom of the first row of squares and the second row of squares. So here you have your corner and the chain 3 into that space, and you're going to add another, you're going to put 3 more double crochets. I'm sorry, not a chain 3, but 3 double crochets, and you're going to add 3 more double crochets, and you're going to chain 1, and you're going to slip stitch into the chain 2. And you're going to chain 1, and then you're going to complete the next corner of 3 double crochets. And this is going to be your stitch repeat until you have all your squares completed. Chain 1, and then continue to the end, making your 3 double crochet clusters into each space. Chain 1, and when you get to the very last corner, inside that corner you're going to place 3 double crochets, and you're going to chain 2 or 3 if that's what you're doing, and then you're going to slip stitch to the first stitch. And that is the end of the tutorial for the join as you go method. I hope you enjoy this tutorial and that it was informative, and I appreciate you stopping by my channel. As always, thank you so much, and please like and subscribe, share, leave a comment, and I will see you in the next video.